My dear viewers, we are about to take off. Your tray table should be put away and your seat back straightened. We thank you for choosing World Revealed Airlines and wish you a pleasant flight. But try to keep your eyes open because you might see a strange cube floating in the air or a strange plume of black smoke of unknown origin. Don't forget to click here to subscribe if you like this video and to activate all the notifications to not miss any of our next videos. Let's get started! A long-haul flight can seem even longer if you have the misfortune to sit in front of Mr. Pied. We guarantee it. Take for example this poor guy with his anti-vid mask who had the misfortune to pick the wrong seat number on this plane. The fat, disgusting man sitting right behind him decided to air his feet without worrying about the deadly fumes coming out of his dirty toes. These incredible but true images were filmed from inside the cockpit of a Boeing 737 MAX as it was about to land. Yes, it is indeed a lightning of more than 100 million volts, which has just struck the nose of this plane. But don't worry, the aircraft and its occupants are safe, because the aircraft is very well protected against electric shocks. Its metal fuselage operates according to the Faraday cage principle, thus preventing the electric current from penetrating inside. The airplane is statistically the safest means of locomotion, but wait until you see these images. You might change your mind. This sequence was filmed on board a British Airways plane, flying from London to Florida. The flight was looking pretty good, but suddenly the plane started shaking frantically, throwing suitcases and metal trays upside down. The plane had encountered severe air turbulence, but fortunately there was more fear than harm. Here's another video of lightning striking a plane in midair, except that this time the lightning strikes the wing of the plane as you can see. But despite its millions of volts of power, lightning is literally harmless against a plane with a metal fuselage. Yes, the Faraday cage principle is not too difficult to understand. We may tell you not to be afraid of traveling by plane, but just put yourself in the shoes of this poor traveler who filmed this sequence. In front of him, a man in a cap and glasses is quietly watching a video of the September 11th attacks. We can't say that an airliner is the best place to watch this kind of videos, can we? There is nothing more annoying than a passenger without embarrassment, who starts to heckle for a yes or a no. On this sequence, a blonde Karen gets angry and causes a whole row just because she is sitting next to a mother and her baby. But the old crone will finally be calmed down, because she will be ejected manu militari from the plane.
Thank you, Tabitha. You may not have a job tomorrow. I want Tabitha. Well, I have to. I apologize. I apologize.
You can see everything on board a plane, including some crazy stewardesses. Look at this cute little stewardess who seemed to be playing hide and seek with the passengers. It's either that or she must think she's a suitcase. But in both cases, such a vision is not really very reassuring, because one could believe that the pilot could also be like a stewardess, and there it would be a drama. We are constantly told that planes are safe and that the risk of an accident is minimal, but that doesn't mean that it's true. This amazing sequence filmed by one of the passengers shows us the tragic moment of the crash of a small plane in Hawaii. A problem with the engines and the plane crashes to the ground at a crazy speed. Fortunately for these travelers, the pilot was able to land on the water without too much damage.
Head to shore. The passenger's one is remarkably calm.
When Tyson takes the plane, we are sure that we will be able to attend a free boxing match. The boxer was irritated by a young passenger who did not stop annoying him. As a consequence, this last one is going to taste the therapy of Iron Mike, what had the gift to calm him almost instantaneously.
This is George talking to my...
You can meet a lot of people on planes, but no meeting is as exciting as the one in this sequence, filmed by an incredulous passenger on a flight of the Indian company Go Air airline. These images show you the spectacular moment when two pigeons introduced themselves in the aircraft, while this one was about to take off. These birds deserve their name carrier pigeons, don't you think? Now let's see a sequence that proves once again that planes are not as safe as we are told. These bluffing images filmed by a worried passenger give us to see what happens on board a plane when this one is brought to make an emergency landing. You can therefore judge the panic which reigns on board the aircraft in such circumstances, but don't worry, because this aircraft was able to land without too many problems, and everyone came out safe and sound. Welcome to Hawaiian Airlines, the greatest airline of all time, and for good reasons. You can get a drink from Aquaman himself. Yes, look at this surreal scene. It is indeed the actor Jason Momoa who officiates as a steward on this plane. So make yourself comfortable and don't worry about the trip, because the service is literally princely on board this aircraft.
Jason Momoa trading movie sets for the...
Here is now a horror scene that will certainly give you nightmares tonight, especially if you are an inveterate arachnophobe. This giant tarantula was captured on a commercial airliner flying from Mexico to Brazil. So if such an encounter is enough to horrify you for life, you can already cancel your trip to the Amazon and choose a slightly colder destination. Greenland, for example, where you can literally freeze on the spot, but at least you will certainly not risk such encounters. Fire is the sworn enemy of aviators because the fire happens so quickly. Look at this scene that really speaks for itself. A suitcase suddenly caught fire, probably because of a bottle of alcohol or any other flammable product. The fire was quickly controlled, but the passengers must have had a big fright that day. Big hairy spiders really love free air travel. Admire the size of the beast. This tarantula decided to play the stowaway by settling down in the cockpit of the small plane. The pilots only noticed its presence when they were about to land. Fortunately, they did not panic too much when they saw the size of the terrifying creature. And even when this one fell directly on the pilot's feet, he knew how to keep his cool and succeed in landing all the same. Since we tell you that planes are not as safe as the airlines claim, well, here's another proof of this statement. These shocking images show you the burning engine of a Boeing 777, filmed from inside the plane by a passenger completely terrorized. And we can understand the poor guy, because when we see such a sight, it is often synonymous with a crash. Fortunately, this plane managed to land without too many problems, bringing its passengers and crew completely safe and sound without a scratch. An airplane can vibrate when there is air turbulence, but the aircraft you are about to see in this sequence literally has Parkinson's disease. The aircraft vibrates so much that it looks like a pre-war washing machine in spin mode. The poor passengers must have had a very bad time, especially if they were served sauerkraut for lunch. The breathtaking images you see on this sequence were filmed by a daring pilot, who dared to brave one of the most violent natural phenomena that exist. It is indeed the terrible Hurricane Irma, filmed here at the closest, so that you can even see the terrifying eye of the hurricane. No one has ever been able to get so close to such a storm. But this experienced pilot must certainly not know the meaning of the word impossible. UFO enthusiasts will probably like this sequence, filmed by an incredulous traveler. These images show us indeed what one could well qualify as an unidentified flying object. The UFO drags behind it a big trail of black smoke, whereas a normal plane only emits white smoke at this altitude. What could this thing be? An extraterrestrial vessel? A demonic presence, perhaps? We found Supermom. Here she is in full action on this sequence, for the least flexible. Admire indeed the almost feline flexibility of this mother who has nothing to envy to Jean-Claude Van Damme. Someone should tell this brave passenger that his suitcase is much too big for the luggage compartment of this plane. Well, he can always take it in, but not in this way. You are always told to turn off your electronic devices when you are on a plane. Want to know why? Well, look at this beautiful mess filmed by a passenger. The fire devours his suitcase and narrowly misses spreading in the plane. The cause of this fire is nothing less than a simple electronic cigarette that exploded. We tell you that smoking kills, don't we? And here's another Karen who causes a scandal on board a plane. The old vixen decided to block the passage, thus preventing the passengers to evacuate the plane. The overexcited Karen will eventually be calmed down by the stewardesses, and especially by the prospect of legal proceedings. Welcome to Singapore Airlines. Fasten your seatbelts and get your fire extinguisher, because the plane literally caught fire during the landing. Fortunately, the fire was brought under control before causing an air disaster. Mayday, mayday! Control tower, we are going to land in emergency. We have a stowaway on board the plane. It's a snake that got into the baggage compartment. And believe me, it's a very big specimen. It's not good to be handicapped on an airliner. Look at this poor passenger who literally has to crawl to get to the plane's bathroom. The unfortunate woman could not count on the help of anyone, which makes us wonder, what is the use of stewardesses on a plane?
That they wouldn't help, and they just proceeded to keep serving the drink. It was a bit of a struggle, but when you've got to go, you have trolleys and cigarette trolleys.
Look at this strange metallic four that is flying through the clouds, and that an airline pilot was able to film totally by chance. It is the famous Tesseract of Loki, or a spacecraft from another galaxy? Who knows? In any case, certainly not us. But if you think you know what it is, don't hesitate to tell us in the comments section, just below the video.
And watch this as he zooms in. A metallic-looking object, a polyhedron of some sort, whizzes by in a straight.
Another video featuring UFOs, but hold on tight this time, because these encounters of the third kind will make you feel really good. These pilots filmed unidentified flying objects which brushed against their aircraft, or which had fun zigzagging near an air corridor.
19 footage obtained by filmmaker Jeremy Corbett for a few minutes.
Splashed. Mark bearing a range.
The 2000